Hello everyone, welcome to the actual Bikini Bottom part of Bikini Bottom. You can see we're on Con Street, there's SpongeBob's house and Squidward's house. They're a little squished, but that's very much recognizable as their homes. This is one of the more open areas in the game, but if you look around you'll find out where to go pretty quickly, except for one odd little thing, where we have to walk through these two pillars and it triggers a cutscene for some reason. Yeah, you remember this minigame. We have to stop our friend from getting shot. Again, just tapping the touchscreen all over the place seems to work okay. Patrick doesn't seem too concerned, honestly. I'm not sure why they made this cutscene trigger in such an odd place, or made this minigame trigger in such an odd place, but what can you do about it? Now that we've triggered the cutscene and saved Patrick, we can use these pillars for their intended purpose, which is wall jumping with Danny. And we need to get on top of these pillars so we can do this. And you might wonder why we just destroyed Patrick's house. It's because there's this secret portal to the Krusty Krab inside Patrick's house. I am so very confused why there is a secret underground tunnel to the Krusty Krab in Patrick's basement. And I'm also so very confused why there is lava in the secret underground tunnel. The platforming down here is very basic, but we want to use Jimmy anyway because he is our platforming guy, and just in case we need his double jump. I'm not complaining about how this place looks, by the way. I want to be clear, this place looks very interesting and surreal. The floating Krabby Patty crates that threaten to push you off the platforms, and the weird metal walls and the moving platforms. It's a very strange place. And it sticks in my memory very well because of that. I'm just not sure what this is supposed to be in-universe. And to add further to the confusion, as you're seeing right here, it opens up into a full-on lava cave. The Krusty Krab imagery is gone, this is just a lava cave now. This does still lead to the Krusty Krab, but now it's just clearly open lava, without any platforms or anything, without any moving platforms or metal. It's just very strange. I can't rag on them for not having environmental variety, because this is environmental variety if I've ever seen it. But who would have guessed this was underneath Patrick's house, is all I'm saying. It's time to use Danny's hover ability, which is the same thing as his phase through walls ability, but allows him to hover horizontally for a bit. And I don't remember if you really use this anywhere else. I very much recall using it here, because this entire section of Bikini Bottom is very strange to me, this underground lava section, so it's hard to forget. It's hard to forget anything that I've done here. A lot of buttons that open doors in this lava cave. We'll get back to something that makes sense in a little bit. But SpongeBob is not commenting on the surroundings, so this must be kind of normal. He must have just known that this was down here. We don't know how many secret entrances the Krusty Krab has, after all. This could just be one of several dozen. If Mr. Krabs built this, or made SpongeBob build this, I don't know why it had to double as a platforming challenge. I'm sure SpongeBob could justify it somehow. Okay, so now we're much closer to the Krusty Krab and we're actually underneath it. Platforming around all this gas can be really hard if you're playing as anyone besides Jimmy, but Jimmy's double jump makes it a lot easier. It would also probably be hard if you were using a D-pad, but I am using a DualShock 4. Anyway, as I was saying, we are actually under the Krusty Krab now instead of traveling to it. Hence the change in music. There's the platform. I was waiting for that. We're gonna switch to Timmy real quick to run under these presses, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to make it. And we have to wait for the moving platform again, but after that, we can go up into the Krusty Krab and save Squidward. At least that's the idea. The Krusty Krab is overrun with thugs coming out of green portals. And I assume the thugs are working for the evil syndicate because they're coming out of the green portals, even though they just look like normal fish, really. There are also little robots I assume are made by Plankton. And they're a little harder to deal with, but their lasers deal very little damage. It's ideal to stay on the tables while shooting the thugs, because they can't actually climb on the tables. The Plankton robots can still shoot you, though. After we defeat all the thugs, we need to hop behind the cash register and check for Squidward. Squidward is nowhere in sight, but he did leave behind his house key, which is odd. But that means we can go check in his house now. I doubt he'll be inside his house, but it turns out there are bad guys inside his house. I don't know how they got in here without the key, though, because we couldn't get in here without the key. Maybe they busted in and then locked the door behind them somehow? Even though the dialogue is not written very good in this game, I do have to agree that checking the news seems like a good idea, because if there's weird things going around all over Bikini Bottom, then there was probably someone reporting it. For some reason, SpongeBob's key was inside Squidward's house, but that's less weird than Squidward just leaving his key at the Krusty Krab.